Hey, Whiskey Fangs, I'm Chris.
And I'm Kara.
Kara, what do we have today?
We have Chattanooga Founders Reserve. It's the 10th anniversary blend.
I don't know why I was just...
I don't know why I called... You said Ooga?
I was like, oh, I don't know what happened. I just keep it. Just keep it. This is what happens, guys. And she edits it out. Let's just keep it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a blend of several recipes of the Chattanooga's distillate plus MGP. So what they're doing, they started out sourcing MGP, and that's the 1816 line. And now they've moved over all of their products to their own distillate. So this is kind of a nod to their past and a nod to their future. So it's a blend of the two. It is... I think it's non-age stated. Non-age stated. However, it is 50% alcohol or 100 proof. It's a blend of straight bourbon whiskey. I always forget what that straight bourbon means. I think it means 4 years, unless otherwise stated. I think. So,
which I find weird because sometimes they're on their bottles to say age greater than, no less than. What's that backwards things that they use? And it confuses me all the time.
Yep, you sound confused.
It says 3 years, but it's always like a bottle and bond. I'm like, well, then that's 4 years. Why even put that?
I'm sorry. Straight whiskey is 3 years. It says on the bottle even. My bad.
I might have been drinking before this video. Bear with us, please.
It's woody.
Oh. We have sampled this out quite a bit because I know it is kind of hard to find for some people.
And we're huge fans of Chattanooga, so we wanted to make sure people got a chance to taste it.
Except for their experimentals say no.
That fart barrel was a roller coaster. So let's go into this nose and try to forget the past.
Maybe if I drink enough, I'll forget the past.
It happens to me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's very... Oh, we're going in...
I couldn't. I forgot to do the sniffing thing.
Yep.
I forgot to do the sniffing thing. I'm just such like put in my face. Okay, but I do have to say, when I sipped it, does not correlate to what the nose is.
Oh, no.
Love the palate.
The nose is a little...
The nose has got...
funkier, earthier than the palate is.
Very earthy, but
not in a bad way. It's,
It's very leafy.
When
I always say earthy, it's either
leaves.
dirt or it's leaves. I don't know why. It's like very mulchy.
Yeah, I get that actually.
Almost tobacco-ish.
I was about to say the same thing. It smells like a young age tobacco. I don't smoke, but that's what I think this smells like.
This would probably be like a fine cigar.
Just before it was completely fermented. The tobacco's not quite fermented. You know what I mean?
I was talking about drinking with a cigar.
Yeah. I'm gonna go in for another palate. I can taste the blend of the brightness on MGP bourbon at the front of this palate.
Here's the thing. We know that 2 of the 3 mash bills that they put in here is of their own distillate, so it's usually going to be some sort of malt variation.
That's what they do. Chattanooga. For those of you that have not had Chattanooga, I believe almost everything they do is a high malt.
Usually. But it's the caramel malt that they have.
Well, the ones that we ran across are...
masks.
It's different. It's not malted like barley, like malts.
Yeah.
What grains do they malt?
There's been so many. Do you know how many different SB
There's a
zeros
lot.
and stuff? It's hard to keep track.
Go on to the Chattanooga website if you're more interested in the exact breakdown on some of these, because they will give that to you. Okay, go back to this. I get a lot of tobacco, dark earthiness on the finish, and it's delicious. It makes me so happy.
But there's also almost like a burnt caramel. You know, like the caramel popcorn that you make it, like, and it's like the bottom of like the pot, where it's like burnt, charred. That's what it is.
Right before it gets a little too nasty. Because if you get burnt sugar too much, it gets kind of acrid. You know what I mean? It gets
really
especially
like
popcorn.
this. I'm so glad we got...
It's a nice mix of that malt with the tobacco, but that bright MGP is on the in the foreground. It's not quite floral MGP, but it's a nice little balance of light caramel. Is that where you're getting the caramel corn? Probably?
Slightly.
It's right in the beginning.
And I can tell that for people who don't generally like Chattanooga, because they have a very distinct with their malt, the flavor. This, it's there, but it's not fully highlighted, and I think the MGP, how they blended it, plays very, very fantastically that you will not be offended if you haven't liked Chattanooga before.
I agree.
It's there, but I think the malts that they did use to blend,
They're sweeter.
they're sweeter, and it played very well with the MGP. And I don't know what blend. Is it like a high rye? Is it a low rye? What kind of MGP?
That I don't know
I
if they break that down.
I couldn't find it out.
I didn't see this on their website.
It told me on their website the different kind of cooperages and stuff like that.
Oh,
but
wow.
Yeah,
That's helpful.
right? I have a suspicion that it's more than 30% rye.
I don't know. Oh, the bourbon? Maybe
Yeah,
that's
for
why I
the
really
MGP,
like
only
it.
because it has a spice to it, but it's not. How it plays well with, I think, their mash bills. It doesn't stand out. It has a spice to it that it kind of reminds me of a high rye bourbon. But
Maybe that's why I like it so much, because I
Maybe.
love I like the higher rye
Yeah.
MGP bourbons over the lower rye
Yeah.
ones.
And for 50%, this is very dangerous.
This bottle,
Very dangerous.
and can we say the ridiculous MSRP on this?
$49, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a $50 bottle.
Yep.
I think
$49.
this, if you have this available in your area, if you can order this on the internet and pair it up with a couple other bottles to save on that shipping,
Pile it on.
I think that's a buy.
Add 2 or 3.
I'm hoping it may be completely sold out by now,
Maybe.
but if they ever do another release, pull the trigger.
Yep.
Of another future Founders. I know this is a special for the 10th anniversary, but
Yep.
this just makes me happy about Chattanooga, and they're blending it a little bit with MGP. I think this will be more approachable, like you said earlier, to people that don't like super high malt, because this is less malty, and then they still get the chance to see the loveliness that's coming out of Chattanooga.
It's more appealing to like bourbon drinkers that like just bourbon, and because they put the malt into it's a nice transition. And I think Chattanooga does a lot of those beautiful transitions with a lot of the releases, like the port, their Isla cask one. It's just they're really good. Just stay away from the experimentals,
Or maybe have somebody else try it for you.
Yeah. But this is a definite buy for me for $49, 50%. The blends that they did, it's really fantastic. And we found out from Whiskey Food Dude, Paul.
Yes, Paul. Shout out to Paul.
Paul, he told us that that's why their bottle is smooth.
Because that's
Their
their
normal
original
ones,
bottle.
look, they have like these cool like ingrained things.
So that
right
lets you
there.
know that this has MGP in it,
Yep.
and the beautiful engraved one, that's all Chattanooga distillate.
Yes.
Thanks,
Paul.
Thanks, Paul. That was a very helpful hint.
Yeah. Because I'm just like,
Yeah,
what happened to the bottles? Did they
I
run
just
out?
assumed they ran out of pretty bottles.
COVID
But this is
glass
cute
issue.
too. Yeah, this is cute too, though. So,
Mm-hmm.
have you guys had the chance to taste any of the Chattanooga Founders, this 10th anniversary blend? If you have, give us a comment below. If you have another Chattanooga offering that you've had that you must tell us about, please give us a comment below. While you're down there, give us a thumbs up. If you like what we're doing with this channel, subscribe, turn on those notifications so you can join us in our next video. Well,
I like this. I'm getting more charred oak on it, and it's amazing.
it gets deeper and darker on the finish
Not a
as you
campfire,
drink.
but yeah, this is beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's
Well,
beautiful.
I fancy this
Easy
whiskey.
breezy, beautiful whiskey bottle.